documentary about how bad he's had it. I wanted to make something that was about the journey, about the hope, about the love, about believing in yourself and like what happens when you believe in yourself. And I wanted you to leave the film with like, this is what's possible if you give it your all and chase your dreams. And he was like, yes.
Hi, Rudy. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Nice to see you. I met you in 2018 for The Sentence.
Oh, wow.
Yes. We ended up talking about that amazing documentary. So now we're gonna talk another amazing documentary, Carlos,
Thank you.
right? So,
Very, very different, right? Very different.
oh
The
yeah,
two
oh yeah.
films.
Oh my God, it's water and wine. So, but both are amazing, and I love that you are showing that you can do not just the drama, but you can do something happy for us because I
Yeah.
enjoy every second of this one.
Thank you so
So,
much.
yeah, first of all, congratulations on the film. Like, was premiere at Tribeca, and oh my God, it's such a amazing. And how this project came to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that. So I was doing a project with Imagine Documentaries for Justin Wilkes and Sarah Bernstein, and I had read in Variety, I think it was, that Imagine Documentaries had just decided or signed on with Carlos to make a film, and I remember reading that and thinking, I want to do that. Like, I wish I could make that film. I was a little bummed, and then a couple weeks later, they came to me and they were like, "What do you think about Carlos Santana?" And I was like, yes, and like whatever you say. And they weren't even offering it to me, they were just asking me my ideas, and I was like, I would love to. And so, long story short, I get to go and meet Carlos um, in Las Vegas where he was doing his residency, and we all sort of decided that they were going to entrust me with directing this film. So I was I'm still very shocked that they let me do it, but I was very grateful for the
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yes, no, and then and to do a documentary about Carlos Santana, it's amazing. And I know that he wanted to be involved in all the aspects of it. How was like this collaboration with him? Because I love the way that you guys did, because he is the one telling the story, right?
Yeah. So I think that what's really fascinating about the collaboration was, I think, and it's one of the reasons why I think they brought me on as the director, is that very early on we saw eye to eye on the fact that we didn't want to make. I had no desire to make a woe is me, pobrecito sort of documentary about how bad he's had it. I wanted to make something that was about the journey, about the hope, about the love, about believing in yourself and like what happens when you believe in yourself. And I wanted you to leave the film with like, this is what's possible if you give it your all and chase your dreams. And he was like, yes. Like that's what I want to do, because we know so many of us have gone through such hardships, but those shouldn't be the things that define us. It's our journey, it's where we end up that defines us. And I think that was a big part of it. And then as we started the process of making the film, one of the things I learned very early on from Carlos is that he's such an amazing storyteller. And, I said to him, I was like, I want this to be in your voice. I want you to tell me everything. I don't want to have to go to these other musical artists or these other people who are just going to try and remember something 30 years ago and reflect on who you are. I was like, I want to hear it from you. So I was able to just sit down with him and just get his entire story. And he was able to remember and recollect these moments, these like tiny moments with such vivid memories, down to the smell and to the what he was seeing and what he was hearing. And so I was like, this is all going to be in Carlos's voice and Carlos's music. And so it was really wonderful to go through his life in that way with him.
Yeah, well, it's amazing. And what was the thing that most surprised you, like about
uh,
him? Like must have something, you know what I mean? I know his life is amazing, but
yeah,
must
yeah.
have been
We
something.
we know we know he's amazing guitar. He's an amazing guitar player. He's had this spiritual journey. He's had, he played Woodstock. He did all these things. But one of the things that really surprised me that I absolutely loved was that he's very, very funny. He's got the best sense of humor, and I don't think that people always realize that about him, because there's so many other things to be looking at.
Yeah.
But when you spend time with him, he's he's remarkably funny, and I was very surprised by that. And it made it it was very wonderful to be around that because he's funny, his team is funny, the musicians around him are all funny. So it was, but that's something that I don't think a lot of people realize.
That's a surprise for me because he always like that, like playing his
Yeah,
guitar, like concentrated, like so in that moment that you never imagined that he'll be a funny person.
yeah, he's very funny.
That's amazing. And how did you decide which moment you're gonna put it? Because it's like it's a 15-year career, right? And then you
Yeah,
have just like 90 minutes to decide. Eh,
it was
How
difficult
was that
because you
challenge?
know it was very challenging because there were sort of three aspects that I was trying to interweave throughout this film, throughout this 50-year span, really 70 plus year span, because we go into his childhood and all these things. And obviously there's music. Music is obviously going to play a big part in all this, and spirituality is such a big part of his journey and his life and everything you know about him, and who he is as a person was the other thing. So as we started to put this story together, the story of his life, the story of who he is as a father and as a son, as a musician, as somebody on this constant search for spirituality, you started to find this like ebb and flow within his story where there were moments in his life where music was sort of at the forefront. And then there were moments in his life where spirituality was more at the forefront, and then humanity and all of these things. And so our job, because I don't think even when he was, during Supernatural, when he was once again on the world stage and everyone was thinking music, 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 spirituality never left during that time. Humanity never left during that time. So it was about finding the right way to never separate from the other things. When you're talking about spirituality, you always had to remind them that within that, music played a part. Who he is as a person played a part, and with all of those things. So that was the real challenge, was always taking that journey with all of those three elements, throughout the entire process.
Wow, that's amazing. And how long did you work on this since the first time that you met him and then until Tribeca?
Yeah, so I met him just before the pandemic. So
Whoa.
yeah, I met him just before lockdown, and he was getting ready to go on tour with Earth, Wind and Fire. And I was planning to go to some of those dates with him, and start to talk to him and film a little bit. And then the lockdown happened, and that obviously delayed a lot of things. But what was the silver lining around that was that we were able to jump on the phone. Like, we did a lot of phone calls, and I think that helped us a ton, just getting to know each other and building that trust of the type of film we were going to make, and the way I was going to handle his story. And so in a way, for us, it was really nice because we just, initially we were doing the phone calls because I was going to record them and I was going to use them in the film, but I didn't end up using any of those phone calls. They just became moments for us to really chat and get to know each other, which was very nice.
Yeah, and if the pandemic didn't happen, you're never gonna have that chance. You know
Right.
what I
It'd
mean?
be a
Maybe
very different film.
yeah, would be a different one. You're gonna have like, of course, you're gonna talk to him, but not like that. The way
Right.
very more personal, more
Yeah.
intimate. And that's amazing. And about the archival footage was very difficult. It's not difficult, but like I bet you have a lot. How was
There was
like
a
that
lot.
decision to
Yeah.
use the
It
right
was
ones?
tough. It was tough because there's so much of it. I mean, obviously over 50 years of all the concerts and all the home videos and all the things, we had to really decide, in documentary filmmaking, you do this thing as you're editing and as you're putting a story together. It's called killing your darlings, and, killing your favorite scenes because you just don't have the time for it. You don't have or it's beginning to be repetitive, or you're telling the same thing over and over again. So you have to get rid of certain things. And we found ourselves doing that a lot, where it's like, we've already sort of told this, but this is also very beautiful. So we were picking the most beautiful moments that were emblematic of that. So there's a lot of wonderful things that didn't make it into the film, and that's always hard. But it's hard, but it's a really great problem to have because it's not like we were scrounging up trying to figure out, hey, we don't have anything for this. It's like we had a lot of really great footage.
That's great. And I bet someone already asked you that question. What is your favorite song, Santana?
It shifted a lot even while making this. I'll be honest, like Sacrifice was always one of those ones that was in the back of my mind, the big Woodstock performance. And then, Maria came out when I was in high school. So it was something but I really started to love Fufu. I don't know if you know that song or not, but
No, but I'll look up.
you should listen to it because it was one that we were using in the film quite a bit. And I just started all of a sudden listening to it all the time when we weren't working on the film, and it became this other thing. And obviously Black Magic Woman, all the different iterations of that. It's fun to hear the different lead singers and their different takes on it. But yeah, I have a brand new appreciation for so much of his music, especially after seeing it evolve over all of the years. It's really beautiful.
No, it's beautiful, and the documentary is beautiful. And since we are in the Hispanic or Latino Heritage Month, and you're being like pursuing this career, we start with a documentary, very personal documentary. Now we are here with Carlos. Do you have an advice to give to someone that want to pursue a career in this business?
Yeah, I mean, I think especially speaking as a person of color, speaking as a Mexican American, I think one of the things that I've really set out to do as a storyteller, as a creator, as a creative person is not allow people to box me into what they think I should be doing. I'm very purposeful in not just being a Mexican American filmmaker, but being a filmmaker, being able to tell any story that comes across. And so I purposely work in sports documentaries, music documentaries, criminal justice documentaries, theater documentaries. I'm doing as many different things as I can. I'm writing comedies, I'm writing dramas, I'm writing all these different things because I'm much like Carlos says, maybe I'm a multidimensional Mexican. I can do a lot of different things, and to any young creators who are making their first film or making their first anything, if it has some success, just be very careful that you don't allow people to say that's all you can do. Do it all. Do everything you want to do.
Yeah, but that is our advice for everybody. We can
Yes.
do everything that we can,
Yes.
that we want to. And then I think if you think about it, you can do it. That's for sure. And are you already working your next project? Anything that you can mention to us?
So I have a series coming out on Disney Plus in the new year, a 6-part series about the Detroit Youth Choir. I have, I guess there's a couple other things I can't announce yet, but there are about 3 or 4 other projects coming out in the next 2 years that I've been working on. I'm working in the scripted world a little bit more. I wrote my first feature film that's going to get financing. I wrote a scripted series that was purchased. So I'm doing a little bit of everything.
Ruth, so happy that you're doing so great and so developing all these amazing projects, and I cannot wait to see your first feature film. And I hope we
Thank
can
you
talk.
So much.
We can talk again, Rudy. I just want to thank you so much for your time. A pleasure to see you again, and I hope you can see you in the upcoming months, years.
Likewise. I hope I see you again. You must be my good luck charm because I see you whenever I have a big film come
Exactly. Out. Maybe. Muchas gracias. Muito obrigada, and a lot of success.
Muchas gracias.
Ciao.
Bye.
If you like this video, don't forget to comment, to like, and subscribe to our channel right here.